Hey guys, it's Cece and welcome to my July favorites video. So it is once again time for me to talk to you all about my favorite things of the previous month. That is books, movies, music, stuff I did, everything that was my favorite thing. So let's just jump in and get started so I can talk about all my favorite things so I can share it all with you because I did some cool stuff. So my favorite new book that I read in the month of July has got to be The Summer That Melted Everything by Tiffany McDaniel. I tend to go into review books cautious because I want to be able to give them an honest review. I want to be able to be critical of them while also seeing the benefits, and this book just knocked me off my feet. I know I keep saying that, but it did. It utterly impressed me. I think this book had some of the best writing that I have read thus far this year, and I know that I'm going to be reading this book again in the future, just because I loved the style of it so much. I really want to get my own copy of the book, like a hardcover copy, because I also want to be able to mark my favorite quotes and stuff, and overall this was just a really fantastic book, and I absolutely loved it, and it was easily my favorite thing that I read in the entire month of July. So I have two Instagram accounts that I really want to shout out to you today, and that is because they are two really lovely ladies that I met at a Victoria Schwab event. At the beginning of July, Victoria Schwab came to Salt Lake City and I went to a signing, and it was really great, and I got to know a couple of ladies in line while we were waiting to get our books signed, and they both have really fun Instagram accounts that I'm going to recommend. First up is Abby from Books All in Mode. She does have a Bookstagram account and she takes some beautiful photos. I looked her up while I was still there in the store and followed her immediately because she just takes really nice pictures. And the other Instagram account that I really want to recommend is likealady.blog. She's also someone that I met in line waiting to get my book signed, but she has more of a travel themed Instagram. She takes really lovely pictures. I think it's personally really nice to break up my Instagram feed with travel pictures. That is the other type of Instagram account that I usually follow. And so I highly recommend that you check out both of these ladies. They have lovely Instagram accounts, and I was so happy that I got to meet them while I was at the Victoria Schwab event. I have three favorite videos that I watched in the month of July that I'm now going to talk about. The first of those is a video by Books and Lala. She did a video called Romantic Scenes in Books That Aren't Romantic, and it was so funny. She made two lists, one that was sort of a funny things in books that aren't really romantic, and then one that was like these things aren't funny, they're not romantic, stop including them. She was super funny while also calling out a lot of things that are definitely issues within romance as a genre, so this was a hilarious video that I completely adored. I also want to shout out the book adaptation wishlist tag that She Might Be Monica did. It was an original tag all about adaptations that we want or don't want, and it was just really interesting. I think it's a fun video, especially because I think we all talk about adaptations a lot, and this was a really fun way to talk about a lot of different types of adaptations. It's definitely a tag that I want to do in the future, and I just thought it was a really great idea for a tag. And the other video that I must talk about is the Sherlock teaser trailer. Of course I have to talk about this. This dropped during San Diego Comic-Con. It was like 2:30 in the morning when I realized it was posted, and I was about to go to sleep, and I was like, no, I cannot go to sleep. I have to watch the trailer and then dig myself into a Sherlock tag hole on Tumblr, which is exactly what I did. We have clearly been waiting for the 4th season of Sherlock for a very long time now, and it's kind of killing me. But I was so excited to see footage again. I'm so nervous about what they're going to do because there's some stuff that I really don't want them to do, and I'm worried all the time. So I've watched the trailer multiple times now. I'm concerned but hopeful, and I really want it to be good. So this is a big video for me. I was very excited about this video. So my new favorite TV show that I watched in July, I actually watched almost the entirety of Daredevil. I watched Daredevil seasons 1 and 2 a teeny tiny bit in June, but then mostly in July. I'd never seen Daredevil before. I know it took me way too long to jump on this train, and I just want to talk about the show a little bit more. So Daredevil, in case you, like me, have somehow not watched it already, is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe on Netflix. It's a Netflix series, and it's about a character named Daredevil. His real name is Murdock. He he is a lawyer, and when he was young he was blinded, but he got some sort of like enhanced ability, so the rest of his senses are extremely heightened and he fights crime. That's, you know, he's a superhero. I'd been really curious about this show because I'd heard so much about the characters and the story in general, and I absolutely adored the first season. I just thought it was interesting. I loved the introduction we get to the characters, and I love myself like a good just two characters sitting and talking scene. Like those make me live because I love really intense character development episodes, and there's one of those in season 1. Almost the entire episode is just two characters talking, and it's become one of my favorite episodes of TV of all time because it just checked so many boxes. I didn't like season 2 nearly as much. I think that it sort of lost track of what characters I actually cared about and don't care about Elektra at all. But I'm still very excited going into season 3, which apparently we're not getting for ever. Also, Jessica Jones season 2 we're not getting forever. Which makes me sad. Movies! I cheated a teeny tiny bit on movies, and here's why. For my movies, I usually share a favorite rewatch as well as a favorite new to me movie, and these are both technically gonna be new to me movies, but you'll see. So completely going against what my life has been like for the past year, I saw a ton of new releases in July. I saw Star Trek and Jason Bourne and The Shallows and Ghostbusters and Finding Dory, and I was just like at the movie theater constantly. So this was a super difficult choice to make. The favorite movie that I watched that was new to me, I'm going to say, was Finding Dory. I saw it at the very beginning of July, and Finding Nemo is my favorite Pixar movie. I adore it, and so I was cautiously excited about Finding Dory, and this was just so good. I think that it did such a good job of focusing on a minor character and also making her story really strong. Usually I'm hesitant to accept movies where they make a minor character the main character. I think that that is very rarely done well, but it was done well in my opinion in this case. It brought back the humor of the original movie while also talking about mental illness in a super fascinating and awesome way, especially considering it was a kids movie. So I definitely loved Finding Dory. And my favorite rewatch movie, this is where I'm talking about the cheating a little bit. My favorite rewatch was Ghostbusters. Yeah, I'm slipping this in here because I saw Ghostbusters twice in July and I needed to talk about it. I almost saw it 3 times, like within a period of a week. My plan was to support Ghostbusters no matter what, at least go see it one time because I am so mad at people being babies about Ghostbusters, and I think it's important that movies are being made with all female casts, or at least mostly female casts and mostly female leads. So I was gonna support it anyway, and then this may be my favorite movie of 2016. I grew up adoring Ghostbusters. It was one of my favorites. I watched it constantly, and watching this movie was so important to me as a girl who loved Ghostbusters. It was fun. It made all the right callbacks to the original movie. It combined nostalgia with something new. It was smart, and I adored it. Kate McKinnon is life, and I adore her. This movie was about women supporting women, and there were no comments about their appearance at like any point, which was amazing. It was so good. The dumb blonde receptionist was Chris Hemsworth, which I could use more of in my life. Yeah, I could do like a 20-minute discussion video on why I adored Ghostbusters, but it was definitely my favorite new movie of this month, my favorite rewatch, my favorite everything, and I loved it. Okay, music. So you may have noticed I am wearing a new tank top, my Panic at the Disco tank top. And that is because I went and saw Panic at the Disco in concert in July. So I thought to mix it up with music, I would just give you kind of like a top 5 Panic at the Disco songs. Panic at the Disco is my favorite band, and so it felt right to give you a top 5 of their music since I went and saw them, and it was such a cool experience. They put on a fantastic show, and it was really great to see Weezer as well, who I like, just not as much as Panic, because Panic So anyway, let me talk about my top 5 Panic at the Disco songs, in no particular order. So the first one that I have to talk about is sort of obvious, and that is I Write Sins Not Tragedies. I mean, come on, it's like the song. It's one of the ones from their original album that I still really, really enjoy. I didn't start listening to Panic at the Disco, honestly, until their second album, Pretty Odd, came out, so I have less of a connection to Fever You Can't Sweat Out than some other people do, but this song in particular still remains fantastic, and I will love it for eternity. I was so happy when they performed this at the concert. It just made my heart glow a little bit. And is there any way to listen to the song and not like scream every lyric? Is there a way to do that? Because I haven't found it yet. Then sliding all the way to their newest album, I have to talk about Emperor's New Clothes. I think it highlights Brendan Urie's voice just magnificently, and I adore it. I'm pretty sure it's my favorite song from the Death of a Bachelor album. I really love a lot of them. You know, I love Crazy Equals Genius, I've talked about that one before, and Victorious, obviously, but I just really love this song. Next I have to talk about This Is Gospel. When I was looking at my music library for Panic at the Disco, I ordered them by how many times I've listened to each song, and this song beat every other Panic at the Disco song, like 2 times over. I love the lyrics of this song, I love the way that it sounds, especially. I mean, obviously, how it sounds is important, it's music. I just love all the individual elements of the song and the way that they all come together to make it sound really, really cool. The next one that I want to mention is Nearly Witches, Ever Since We Met, and this is from Vices and Virtues. This song, I was utterly obsessed with this song in high school. I was a dancer in high school and I always really wanted to do a dance to this song and it didn't happen, and I think that I'll regret that for the rest of my life. There are just so many little ticks and elements of this song that I appreciate more and more every time I listen to it. It's weird, it includes French, which is always a positive, and I am obsessed with it and will remain obsessed with it to the end of time because I think it's fantastic. And the final song that I have to mention is obvious, like I have to say 9 in the Afternoon. That was such a big deal for me when I found the song 9 in the Afternoon. That was sort of the introduction to me for Panic, and so, you know, as my favorite band, it was a big deal. Everyone knows this song. I mean, I don't really need to talk about it or like tell you to go listen to it. Everyone knows the song 9 in the Afternoon, but it's a great one and it's in my top 5 favorites, so of course I had to mention it as well. Those are my favorite Panic at the Disco songs. Hope you enjoyed me sharing that little tidbit of info. Now I'm going to quickly go over my pop acquisitions in the month of July. I bought 4, I believe, so I'm just going to show those off. First of all, we have Karen from Mean Girls. With her, I have finished off my Mean Girls collection, and I am so pleased, and I think she's so cute. I adore all the Mean Girls pop, so I'm so glad I have them all now. I also purchased Dancing Ferris. I love Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and the scene where he dances in the parade and sings Twist and Shout is one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. So when this existed, I had to have it, and I think he's adorable, and so it was super worth it because I love him. Speaking of finishing Daredevil in July, I had to go pick myself up a little Matt Murdock Funko Pop. I think that the Marvel Pops are hilarious with their bobbly heads, and I think that it works especially well for Matt. I wish that they had a few different Daredevil Pops because I think 3 different versions of Matt is a lot, and there are other characters, but I just especially appreciate this version of Matt Murdock. I don't even need a Daredevil version of him because I love his glasses and his cane, and I love his bobbly head, and I love him. And the last one that I have that I want to talk about is Mushu. I got Mushu as well as Cricky from Mulan. Mulan is one of my favorite Disney movies, and I already have my Mulan Funko right there she is. And so I really wanted to get Mushu and Cricky to finish off the set. I've been looking for them for a very, very long time, and then some friends found them when they were digging through piles of pops at a store and called me, and I was like, yes, get them. I will come and I will take them from you later. So they're adorable, I love them, and I'm so glad that I have them to complete my little Mulan collection now. So the random things that were favorites in July that I want to mention are just a couple of events that I really enjoyed. I've already mentioned them throughout this video. First of all, of course, the Victoria Schwab event. It was so awesome to meet Victoria Schwab, and she did such a good job leading a discussion and talking about her books, and I just really enjoyed that experience. I also got 3 books signed. It was my favorite author event that I've ever been to because usually I freeze up when I talk to authors and I have no idea what to say to them. I am a very introverted person and so I have a hard time with that, but Victoria just opened up such a fun discussion as soon as I got up there and it was so great to talk to her. Plus, she hyped BookTube in the middle of her discussion and was shouting out booktubers she loved, and that made my little booktuber heart glow. Also, of course, loved the Panic at the Disco concert. Did it change my life? Only time will tell. But Brendan Urie put on a fantastic show and the entire band was amazing. They rolled a piano on stage at one point so that Brendan Urie could sing Bohemian Rhapsody and like It was so good. And of course my other favorite event of July was Booktubeathon, in which I read 7 books and did lots of fun challenges, and that was just a fun event as well. So I had to mention that. Okay guys, there you go. Those are all of my favorite things in the month of July. I hope that you enjoyed hearing me talk about all of them. Please in comments let me know what some of your favorite things in July were. I'd love to hear the things that you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!